Ferdinand Magellan's Voyage by Brendan Kelly. Ferdinand Magellan was the leader of the first expedition to circumnavigate the entire world. He led the first European voyage across the Pacific Ocean and found a route for ships to sail a complete circle around the world. He grew up in a wealthy Portuguese family and studied astronomy and nautical science. When Magellan was young, he took a trip to India to establish Portuguese royalty there, which caused him to continue his passion for sailing. In 1510, he was promoted to be a captain and took part in the Portuguese conquering of Malacca. The next expedition that Magellan took place in ended terribly for him. The trip was to Morocco, and he came back severely wounded. He felt that the Portuguese didn't treat him well after this occurrence, and he left the army without permission. Magellan gave up his Portuguese nationality and offered his services to the ruler of Spain, King Charles I. Vasco de Balboa, a Spanish conquistador, reached a body of water on the other side of the New World that was originally found by Christopher Columbus. Magellan proposed to the Spanish king an expedition that was a passage through the New World to the Atlantic Ocean and to sail west to the Moluccas, thus proving that the Spice Islands lay on the Spanish side of the line of demarcation, as opposed to the side of the Portuguese. Charles approved the plan, and Magellan readied himself for the voyage. He took a pledge of allegiance in a church in Seville and received the imperial standard. Next, he gave money to the monks in Spain so they would pray for the success of the voyage through the New World. After a year of preparation, the expedition left from Seville in 5 different ships. It took them about 2 months to reach the coast of South America, but they got there harmless and ready to continue. Magellan wanted to avoid winter storms and needed more time to prepare to continue, so the group waited about 6 more months to continue on. During this time, one ship was brought down. It was the Santiago, and it got wrecked and did not continue on with the journey. The group finally continued, and Magellan had sighted what he assumed to be the sought-after strait. Ships went ahead and reported what they thought to be an ocean beyond. However, this only proved to be another large bay. After deliberating with his navigators, Magellan decided to proceed. They had just sailed through the strait that would later be named after him, the Strait of Magellan. This strait is directly south of South America, and at the time was the most important way between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Magellan and the 3 ships remaining reached the ocean that Balboa had discovered 7 years earlier. It had been named Mar Pacifico, obviously the Pacific Ocean. The voyage was continued along the coast of South America, heading west into the Pacific. About a month into this voyage, things started to go terribly wrong. Supplies started to deplete, and the food was scarce along with the drinking water. Scurvy hit the crew members hard, and many of the sailors died. Magellan was able to reach the island of Cebu and was greeted nicely by the leader of the island and also its inhabitants. It took him 8 days, but Magellan converted the ruler and hundreds of natives to Christianity. The ruler aided him and his crew in an attack of a neighboring island called Mactan. Magellan was murdered by some of the natives here in this battle on April 27, 1521. He was at the age of 40 when this happened, but the voyage marched onward in his honor towards home. The 2 remaining ships were refitted and ready for the return voyage to Spain. Juan Sebastian del Cano led the ships on the final trip home. Only one of the ships made it to Seville, including 22 men, 18 crew members, and 4 East Indians. These members, led by Ferdinand Magellan, completed a voyage across the Indian Ocean, around the Cape of Good Hope, and north through the Atlantic, something no one had ever completed before. The voyage took 3 whole years, and it circumnavigated the entire globe. Magellan's original plan was to circumnavigate the world in one voyage. He did not complete that mission, but he provided the skill and determination for that feat to be possible in the future. He paved the way for trading throughout the world and for sailing techniques the rest of the Age of Discovery.
All right, Magellan, in essence, showed the size of the world, right? Even though he didn't make it all the way around, what he proved is that people could make it all the way around. And shortly thereafter, Francis Drake made it all the way around. And so what you saw was that it was possible to get around the globe, right? It was possible to trade in all aspects of the planet. And it opened up a whole new world of opportunities as far as where people could go, what they could do, and who you could trade with, right? No civilization could truly be isolated any longer because people on the oceans could go anywhere.